All right, let's try this again. I turned the camera on a minute ago. GoPro had been in the van overnight, super cold. I think that's what killed the battery because I didn't film a lot yesterday. As you see, ice. Ice, ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun.
Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby.
Anyways, everything's frozen. So yesterday we had to go to Memphis on some business. While we were in Memphis, I had this piece that I had secured weeks ago, maybe months ago, and it was sitting in the back warehouse of an antique place. And it's probably 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide, maybe a little bigger. Panel section, maybe confessional. We think that it's probably religious church. It's got serpents and faces and all kinds of cool stuff on it. So we went to pick that up. While we were there, the day was pretty well shot. So we hit a couple places that we like to go and do a little shopping. We buy stuff that I think we can resell. We buy stuff that I won't be bummed if it doesn't sell. And we buy things people are like, oh man, I saw that and thought of you. And luckily I like things that people are just like, wow, that's weird. You know, I could totally see you with that. And this is one of them. I have seen this picture. And it's a lady with a salamander on a leash. The painting's big and it's got this metal frame around it. I really would like to cut this canvas in half and throw that half away and just make it a half the size. I don't have a lot of wall space to hang it. Super cool. I just don't care about the rest of it. I just want her and the salamander, but that cuts the artist's name off. That's probably what I'll do, is just cut that canvas in half, have it reframed, so that I can actually put it somewhere without it taking a whole entire wall up. But I'm just going to go through this stuff. I have to, a lot of these places, when you buy antiques at antique malls, each individual booth is a contract from the people that are curating that booth. It's like having a little tiny store inside of a store. So what they do is that they rip those price tags off so they know how much the item was, and so they can control the inventory and make sure that the profit goes to the booth owner. So a lot of times, this candlestick holder, for instance, I don't know what we paid for it. And I just kind of look at it and go, okay, we're buying in this area. Can we take it to this other area and make more on it? And if we don't, would I mind having it? And it's cool. It's black and it's copper or bronze. It's got fucking little lion feet on it. It's neat. So I wouldn't want it because there's only one of them. I want to have two, you know, so you can put them on a table even. If you have a center, if you only have a single, that's the centerpiece, and that's not big enough. I have things that are more grand than that. So what do we pay for it? I don't know. So that's what I have to do right now, is pull these receipts out, figure out which piece is which, since there's no tags. And then we're going to take it over to our booth where we are set up, put it in our booth, and figure out, can I double or triple or quadruple the money on it? And if not, but that's what I'm about to do. So I'm about to unbox this. Alligator, old one. Tail's got some damage to it. Just an old sideshow, you know, alligator farm, Florida or something. Tourist trade. I don't know what I paid for it. I don't have one, so if it doesn't sell, I don't care. Amanda likes mirrors. This is not one of her nicer ones, so I don't know why she bought this one. I think this is ceramic. Artware, Japan. 7210N, so it's pretty neat. I like it. And the thought is, well, old Santa mask. I think it's old. It's kind of rubbery. Could care less whether we sell it. We'll use it in videos. And my thought with this stuff is showing you guys this. I don't know where I'm going to put this video up. I don't know if we're going to do a new channel, put it on the old channel. I've got an Instagram and Facebook now for Faces and Feet, Antiques and Oddities. But I don't know where I'm going to load this. When I do live feeds for my main business page, people seem to have an interest in this. When I sit down, they want to talk about it, and we talk about it for an hour. So there's some crossover, but then again there's not. So I don't know how we're going to do that, if we'll just build a subcategory on the main channel if people are interested in seeing that. I don't know. I guess that'll be up to you guys, how you guys react to it, or we host it if we continue to host it. This thing was super neat. It's a tea light holder. It's glass. So it's just a neat display piece. You could put flowers out of the top of it, or brass rods with little skulls. I mean, you could do tons of stuff. You could make it into a lot of different things. It's just really pretty, and if you illuminate it, I think it's pretty cool. And the price is real low. So if we bought it for $5, can I sell it for $20? Or if I put some little tiny skulls on it, could we sell it for $120 and really be in it for the cost of, I don't know, maybe 15 bucks? It's just what you do with it, how you imagine it, how you show it, and then you know, how you post it up on social media and the little story you tell behind it. Could we sell it and not make a profit on it? Sure. We could do a whole entire video just on talking about this, what we paid for it, what we could do with it, and then take it a couple steps further and put $10-15 more into it and have a value of over $100 on it at that point, and just show just the thought and just the ideas of it, and have a couple pieces of content to make on video and grow the channel, and then eventually monetize the channel to make some money. But the real thing is to do this little hobby we're doing on the weekends. Can we make enough money not to have to pay for it, and in fact even profit a little bit and grow it? And that's what we're going to find out. It's the hunt. It's finding the new stuff. Little planter. It's got little lions on it. These are usually copper or tin. Somebody painted this one. It's a mess. We won't try to clean it up. We'll just put it in there. I think we're in that thing for $5. We'll put it in there for 25 bucks. Maybe put a fake plant in it. It's a little carved frog. I like carved wood pieces, especially like paper mache. This one says made in Indonesia, Bali, Indonesia, Thailand. A lot of this stuff comes from there, tourist trade stuff. But it's just neat, and I've seen it. I've been to this place probably a dozen times, and it's just sitting there. And every time I see it, I think, man, I like that thing. I should get it. And finally we did, because I know I keep going back and saying the same thing over, but we have a booth now at an antique mall in Nashville, and we just need to fill it with little stuff. We have big stuff that's expensive, which will draw people in, and they might not be ready to buy that, but if you have cool stuff that turns over in your booth consistently, the same people come back, and eventually that big item might be an impulse buy. I've got some desks and stuff in there that are, you know, $2,000-$3,000, whereas if they come in, they might not. They come in to look at that big desk because they want it, but they can't bring themselves. So they can't bring themselves to spend, you know, $3,000 on a desk. But they might buy a $25 wooden frog, and then they'll come back next time they're there to see if that desk is there, and they might buy something else. So it sticks in their head. It just gets them back in. If you have turnover and you have new product, they will come to look. And I have this weird little guy. Little Asian dude. Plant stand holding something or something to display. I'll put a big cool skull on top of him or something. But I had another piece I have upstairs here in the lounge area. Looks like it's probably made by the same company or artist originally. And it's a little dude cradling a watermelon, and I just bought it kind of as a joke. It was just weird. Every time I saw it, I would take a photo and send it to Justin Souders or send it to a couple friends, and they'd laugh and go, what the heck is that? So I eventually bought it at this place, and they were asking like $600 for this thing originally. And then the mall was this place downtown Antiques. It was closing down. Loved that place. We'd go there every time we were in Nashville. We'd go there and walk around for a few minutes. And this old grumpy lady ran the place, and there was terrible reviews on her. But when I read the reviews, they were very factual. Like, she just didn't tolerate mamby-pamby bullshit. And I liked that lady. I liked going in there and just talking to her. And the dude she had working there was pretty cool. And we still see him sometimes at the flea markets and stuff. I like that dude too. But that other piece is upstairs. And when I saw this piece, I thought, man, I'm gonna get that thing. It's just weird. Sitting on a table, people will be like, what is that thing? And that's the reaction I love. Then we can have a conversation. I go back to the giraffe a lot of times. People will come in here for the real business, and we'll walk around, and they want a tour. They watched us build this building on video. They watched us buy the property. We're on 10 acres, 10,000 feet, put a 6,000 foot loft upstairs. And people watch us, and they just watch the progression over the years, building the building, developing the property. It's a very long story. So they come here, they want a tour, they want to see the place. So we show them around, and they're like, why do you have a giraffe? I said, because, do you know another man that has a giraffe? And they go, no. I go, exactly. And there's always, they come in here in groups. There's 10, 15, 20 people sometimes come in, and we show them around. And it's always the kind of standoffish guy or the awkward dude that doesn't really say anything. There's a couple people really that'll drive the conversation and the other guys listen. But that dude who hasn't said anything, he'll be the guy that goes, why do you have a giraffe? And I almost feel a lot of times from their tone like they're being assholes about it. And I go, well, do you know another man with a giraffe in his garage? And they're like, no. I go, exactly. You've been in my building for an hour now. You haven't said anything. We haven't had any conversation. And the giraffe is the reason we're having a conversation. I said, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, have you ever been close to a giraffe other than a zoo that you can't touch? I mean, have you ever seen one? And they go, no. I go, that's why I have the giraffe, because you and I, we're talking now, and now we have something in common. We've had this conversation over a giraffe, and it's just neat. I like him. He's sitting there. We all grew up with Toys R Us, Jeffrey the giraffe, and in the old days, man, I'm 48, and I remember my grandparents saying old days. I never heard my mom or dad say old days, but my grandparents, I heard them say old days. And it used to be the circus would come to town, and the circus would have elephants and giraffes and zoo animals, and you could touch them as a kid. You could get up there, and now people just lose their minds over that. It might step on you or it might bite you, and occasionally it did. But I think all of us kids growing up remember that. You used to be able to go to the zoo and touch those animals that could harm you. And you'd go to Toys R Us, and they'd have big, tent sales outside, and they would have a giraffe out there. And I guess I never thought of it that way till right this second. But I guess that's why I'm drawn to the giraffe. Just remembering Toys R Us and the history of the toy stores. There was Toys R Us, and there was a couple others. Man, I can't even remember the name. The Toys R Us was way away from where we lived. And then we had another one that was not as good of a toy store. I can't remember it. It was right by Grandma's house. Anyways, it's just memories, right? And now that just came to me. I'd never put that together till right now. Pretty neat. Jeffrey the giraffe. That's why I have it, because he sits there. People come in and they're like, oh man, you have a whole gym in here. And they look and they're like, there's a giraffe head right there. That's why I have the giraffe. And I got this bird cage. I just like bird cages. And I thought it'd be neat to put a crow or, just something cool in there. Whether it's a real bird or not. I think I probably paid $10 for that bird cage. And I can buy a decent looking fake bird for $10, so I'm in it for 20. And if I put it together right and put the tag right and draw the little note out, I'll bet I could price that at $100, and I might not sell it right now, but around Halloween somebody's going to buy that thing. And that's what happens a lot of times. Guys buy stuff around Halloween, just kind of weird stuff, and they realize, man, I like that, and they continue to buy more of it, and it turns into a hobby or a collection or an infatuation or whatever. Clowns. Everybody's got this big thing. Oh, I hate clowns. I think a lot of people just say that. Another part of the circus. Circus Vargas, Ringling Brothers, Circus. The clown thing. I hate clowns. I'm scared to death of clowns. Are you really? Where did that even come from? Because they used to, everybody loved clowns until somebody told them they didn't. Anyways, this is pretty creepy looking. And it's for a child. It's a little tiny child's chair. So, see all the nails on the back of it?
Yeah. It looks like it was hanging on some fabric.
I don't know if it's hanging on fabric.
Or stuck to it.
They had fabric on the back of it, maybe. I thought maybe it was like a confessional or something.
Yeah,
Yes.
It could be the side of it.
Has this dude here. Like a conquistador helmet, maybe. And it has the dragons facing each other. And it has the shield. Some cracks in the neck. More dragons. They were definitely displaying it. But these here, see how they had,
Yeah.
like it was, these were windows that had red cloth behind them. I don't know, it's super neat.
It's very neat.
So when we started collecting things, it kind of started, Amanda bought me a beaver skull online, and it was pretty neat. I think she got it for my birthday years ago. And then she got me a plague mask that was made of aluminum, looked like it was all riveted together. Pretty cool metal plague mask. So then we started going, we finally went to the flea market in Nashville, and I was buying just anything that was kind of like cool and creepy and skulls. And one of the first two things I bought were these cow skulls. Pretty neat. We were at a high-end home antique and garden show. Dude had a lion rug and a zebra and a few other things. Should have bought them. Couldn't bring myself to spend the money on them, which was really cheap compared to nowadays prices. And I bought a warthog that was engraved like this. So months later when we're at the flea market, I see these two cow skulls, so I immediately buy them. And they're just not really my thing. I like stuff that's more man-eater, not grazer. So I'm going to take these to the booth and put them up for sale. And I think I paid like $65 a piece, and I think I've never seen these in there before or anything like this. So I think I'm gonna put them at $120. And even if we have to eventually lower the price a little at a time to get rid of them, no big deal. Once we need wall space, we'll lower the price, dump them out. But the bigger thing is that upstairs I have these giant glass windows to the conference rooms, and there's not a lot of wall space to display things. And these take that space, so it's really more about getting these out of here than it is about selling them. So we'll put them in there, they'll draw some attention, and then eventually we'll just lower the price on them if we need to and get rid of them.